Women in Saudi Arabia will be allowed to drive for the first time ever, starting in June 2018, a long overdue reform move here. The long-standing driving ban against women in Saudi Arabia was widely condemned as a symbol of repression. Now, the announcement to lift this ban comes after decades of campaigning by female activists. It is part of Saudi plans to implement social and broader economic reforms as well. Now, the move has been welcomed by the international community. They say it's a positive step forward in promoting women's rights and equality. Saudi leaders also hope this new policy will help the economy by increasing women's participation in the workforce. Many working Saudi women spend much of their salaries on drivers, or they have to be driven to and from work by male relatives. So then, let's dig a little deeper into exactly how this policy came about. Yasser Hakim joins us now live with Cairo, pretty much right across the Red Sea, with more data on this particular story. Yasser, good to see you. So where exactly did this move come from? Did it come from the monarch? Was it the main idea of the Crown Prince, Mohammed bin Salman? Where did it come from?
Well, Rama, obviously the king is the one who announced the historical decision. But I believe, and many believe, that it was the Crown Prince, Mohammed bin Salman, who was behind this change or formation. The king has appointed young crown princes and deputy crown princes in the royal family who can lead the kingdom into the next phase, into social development. And the Crown Prince, Mohammed bin Salman, a few months ago, in his speech where he was outlining Saudi Arabia's vision called Vision 2030, he mentioned this idea of giving women the right to drive. And he said the community in Saudi Arabia will or could be against this move and could reject the move and not ready for it. But he said at the end that at one point there has to be change, there has to be development. And now when you relate what he said a couple of months ago to this, then it's probably his decision or his background. He's the one who pushed this, and the king is the one who announced it. So it could be this new generation coming up from the royal family behind this idea, and maybe others to come.
Indeed. So these new rules, though, they come into effect in June 2018. That's all the way out next year. Why is it taking so long to implement what, at least for us out here, looks like a fairly straightforward change?
It's not straightforward at all in a country or a kingdom like Saudi Arabia. I've been there a few times, and you are talking about some work to be done to try to convince the men, at least, that it's time for women to have more freedom and more movement. And it will take time, and they've already started. The big clerics and religious preachers are now saying that it's okay, that Islam says you can do that, and it will not be against Islam and against the Sharia law. So they're already working on it now. But at the same time, you've got the organizational part, the administrative part, which is extremely tough. First of all, the king announced that there will be a committee that includes the Minister of Labor, the Minister of Interior, and several other ministers, around 5 or 6, and obviously social development, and they will work out a plan to adopt this new law or this new rules. And this plan should be set up in 1 month. So they have 1 month deadline to set up a plan. And then to adopt this plan and to get all the regulations intact, it will take a year. And you have to remember also that in Saudi Arabia, men and women are not allowed to mix. So there's segregation in many or most of the areas of work. So what it means is that you have to prepare women, to train women on driving. You have to prepare women to get the license administration and how to issue a license, so that women, when they go to get a license, they have to be dealing with women. So you have a whole administrative channel that will be developed based on women. So you have to train those women to do this, to apply the service for the women who want to drive. So it's a big issue. It's not as simple as you think.
Indeed. We'll leave it there for the time being. Let's see how this plays out in the real world. Thank you for that. That's Yasser Hakim there live, of course, in Cairo.